Hello. Let me get rid of that. Yo. Welcome. Welcome to Creepy Book Club. Let me make it so I can actually see. Yay. There we go. Okay. My hair is, hold on, weird. Who knows what's happening? Okay. Hello, Marielle. Hello, Kate. Hi, Mindy. Crap, I was so behind. Okay. While everybody's like popping in and I'm going to load up some things that I like. Inhaled food. Okay, hold on. We just need to do this and download. Yo. Actually, hold on. Download. Okay, come on. Okay. Oh, you read Monstralia? Fun. Okay, I really should have tried to download these simultaneously while I was inhaling my dinner, but alas, I did not do that. Sometimes you just don't do the thing. Okay. And then how do I delete? Okay, cool. How am I loading these in there? How do I want to load these in here? That's the question. I kind of want to present. Frick. Image. That's what I need. All right. Hi, guys. Sorry, we're getting there. Hi, Des. Hi, Bree. Tana. Sorry, I have something. I don't want to say it's like special and just like make it. Oh my God. Can I not load in multiple at a time? I guess not. No! Don't show it. Dang. All right, hold on. Let's do this fast. And then remove. I made slides. I just thought it'd be visually more fun. Oh my God. All right, next time I'm doing this beforehand. Sorry. I ran out of time. I had to go grocery shopping after work, so I got home a little late. And I'm ready for you. Come on. There we go. Hey, okay. Pretend you didn't see that. I'm not ignoring you. Sorry, I was doing something at the same time. I forgot to load the things in. Okay. Read this last year, so I'm a bit foggy. That's okay. Everyone read it a little last year. Okay. Sorry. Saw Vicky's rating and I thought, well, I genuinely, Marielle, I feel like you would love this one. No, I literally said hi to you guys. I literally said hi to all of you. I totally did. I was getting the slides ready. All right, next time I'm not making these slides. And during don't even. Don't even. Okay. Right. So today we're talking about The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monika Kim. I read half the book today, just finished it. It reads really fast. I don't know if everybody else had the same experience or if you remember, but this read really quickly. Like, I don't know, I flew through it. Like, I don't know, something about the way it's written too. It just like, I don't know. Damn, I cannot fathom anyone DNFing this book unless you hated horror, but those people wouldn't pick it up in the first place. Yeah, probably. It is pretty, I gotta say, it is pretty gruesome, like gore wise. Like the description of her eating the eyes, I was like, so I could definitely get, if you're not into that, for sure. But like you said, you probably wouldn't pick it up in the first place anyway. So I read it all in one sitting. Yeah, I read like half of it. I brought my car in to get something fixed, and I was there for like hour 15 minutes, and I had like read half the book in that time. It was damn repetitive at first. I got sick and tired. I mean, if you're still not into it, then that's fine. But I would, for this particular one, I might implore you to give it another shot, because I really think you are gonna like it. But then also we're about to spoil everything, so I guess you can figure out if yeah. Yeah, so anybody hanging out and just lurking, that's totally fine. I'm not trying to call you out. You don't have to say anything. Just know that we are going to spoil the contents of The Eyes Are the Best Part. So if you don't want the spoilers, this is just your warning. That's all. But you're more than welcome to hang out, more than welcome to listen, whether you've read it or not. So that's always the case with Creepy Book Club. You're always welcome to just hang out. Just know that spoilers will happen. That's all. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's always okay to DNF. I think I'm just surprised that you DNF'd this particular one. Like other ones that you have DNF'd before, I'm like, I get, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I could totally see somebody DNFing this. I could totally see Marielle DNFing this. It was just this particular story. I was like, I feel like you would really like it. So that it was just a surprise. That's all. Oh my goodness. My goodness, my goodness. Okay. Shall we start? Okay. I did make some fun little slides. We'll see how this goes. I liked it. It was kind of fun to make slides. I feel like a teacher almost. Hi Tia. Then the book we're reading right now for June is, hold on, I'll pull up the cover for you too. Is The Spirit Bears Its Teeth by Andrew Joseph White. So this is a YA book, just a heads up. I know not everybody is into reading YA. We occasionally put some YA horror in our lineup, but that is our June book. And then we got to decide the rest of the year. So I'm going to ask you guys for that maybe at the end of the stream. I wish I could DNF a lot more. I finished way too many books out of pure spite. I feel like Tana and Marielle are like two sides of the same coin. You know what I mean? Geez, Marielle, Bree, stop fighting. Oh yeah, there's the other one, like Hell Followed With Us. The art style is very similar, I feel like, on the cover, and then just like different colors. It's a really unique cover. It is. It's so pretty. I don't know if it's Barnes and Noble exclusive. I don't think it is. I think it's just the paperback edition of that book has beautiful stenciled edges. And I'm kind of mad that my hardcover does not. And I'm very tempted just to buy the paperback because it's so gorgeous. I think I might wait till I finish reading it, and if I really like it, I'll get the paperback.
Vicky owes us a book report. I forgot. Can I give a book report next stream? Can I give a book report on like all of the picks for? Hi, Civic. Listen, I was working on these slides with realistic angels, the biblically accurate. What is it? Did you get my suggestions for reads on Storygrapher? No, I think I saw them. Let me double check that they were. I could probably drop that. Actually, you know what? Let me pull up Storygraph on here, and then I can drop the link in the chat if anybody wants to drop in. I want to decide the last half of the year, obviously this month, so we can seamlessly get into July. But I will, since you mentioned it, let me drop the link. But I'm pretty sure I saw it in the thing. I will confirm. Open, please. Open, please. Oh my goodness. Okay. I accidentally clicked on your profile, Mindy. Okay, yeah, I see it. You got it in the right spot. You're good. You're good. And then I accidentally clicked on your profile. Okay, I'm going to drop the link to this in the chat. Okay. Oh, Civic, thank you. I'm all over the place right now. Do you see why I didn't finish the book report? Okay, sorry. It looks like a crazy link, but I'll pin it also. There you go. I'm all over the place. That's fine. You can dock me points for late assignment. That's fine. I accept. I deserve. Thank you, Civic, for the nightmare fuel. I don't say that anymore. I should. Jazz hands? Remember I used to do jazz hands for that? I don't know why. My God, can you even believe that Victoria would ever forget a promise she made? Oh my God, would you ever believe that Mariel DNF'd a book? I can play too. Because jazz hands are fun. True. True. Okay. I want to talk about the eyes are the best part. I felt very strongly one way about it. And I saw definitely in the read along, I saw some I think the hug emoji was just his. That's what I assumed. Is that hug? Is that what that emoji is? To me, that's like well, Vicky promised to read Lord of the Ring. That is true. And I'm going to uphold that promise. I actually wanted to clarify with you. Am I starting with The Hobbit? I don't know if we agreed upon that or if we say agree. I don't know if we established that. Before I start. Okay, anyways. You guys are the best part. There were some fun criticisms in the read along too, which I like stuff that I just didn't. I was like, oh, I didn't realize. Aaron's the Tolkien nerd. We agreed, no Hobbit. Okay, cool, perfect. That's all I wanted to clarify before I started. I didn't want to, if I'm not going to get any extra points for reading an extra book, then I won't. I'll just start right with Fellowship. Perfect. That's all. Cool. Okay. So I did make some fun slides. I made them kind of based off of there's a reading group guide on, I think it's the publisher website is where I got it from. Yeah, it's because it was not in the back of my book. But so I based this. Look at me.
So I took the like discussion bits or the questions from the publisher website just for clarification. Just to fuel our discussion. Obviously, as usual, if you have something else you want to discuss or bring it up and we will go. Nice slide. Thank you. Notice how it is color coded to the book as well. Okay. So yeah, so let's get going, because food is a really like big part of this, obviously, because she's eating eyeballs. It factors like quite heavily. Like it's one of those where like every time somebody makes a meal in this, like she's gonna mention like what is being made, which I kind of love. Like I love little details like that. But definitely curious of your guys' thoughts of like the consumption of things in this book. So obviously we have like, I put kind of like two kind of pairings together. There's like the Korean food, like actual like traditional Korean food that Jiwon's mom is making. Damn, I wish I reread this. And then there's like Americanized Chinese food, like the bastardized Chinese food that George is obsessed with, and that he, is very annoyingly like, this is traditional Chinese food, which I assume that's how he sounds when he says stuff like that. And then of course we have like the fish eyes, which are kind of the basis for this whole book a little bit. I mean, it's the title. It's kind of like it's the first scene in the book, is Jiwon's mom trying to get her and her sister to eat the fish eye because it's good luck. And then that leads to like Jiwon eating actual eyes, like human eyes. Oh my god, the men in this book. Yeah, don't worry. There's a whole slide dedicated to the men. There's a whole slide because the men. George also consumes women. Yes, he does. He absolutely does consume women in the most like disgusting of ways. And in so many different ways, like obviously with his eyes, which factor in really heavily to the book because those are the eyes essentially that Jiwon is seeing everywhere. So every time she sees somebody with blue eyes, she thinks of George's eyes, and that sets her off into eating eyeballs. But he's also like consuming them in the sense that he's like cheating on like every woman in his life, essentially. Like he's got who knows how many, he's got women on the side. He's got an active dating profile where he's going through Asian women because that's his fetish. Disgusting. Not Asian women, but George. So you're absolutely true. And I think the way that like George is obsessed with like this like bastardized version of Chinese cuisine is like kind of just like obvious, like reflects how he feels about Asian women also. Like he sees them all as just like one thing, you know what I mean? Like just Asian women. Asian women. And it's clearly just like a fetish for his own gratification. He doesn't actually like care anything about the culture of China, the culture of Chinese food. Doesn't actually give a shit, which is why he's just so obsessed with Chinese food, and that's where he can potentially see more Asian women. It's disgusting. I want to know why / how eating the first fish eyeball awoke this desire in Jiwon. Ooh, okay, that's good. All right. Obviously, please, anybody
jump in with some theories, maybe. Well, we know for sure the fish eye, like it's supposed to be good luck. It's supposed to be good luck, and she does have that whole thing with it's like palja, like the way it's spelled out, like phonetically Palja, which is fate, which is like your destiny, your fate. So maybe it's an extension of that. So she decides to eat the fish eye for luck and to appease her mom, which I feel that Jiwon feels responsible for her mother, in caretaking, in taking care of her, especially after her father left. So she does it kind of to appease her mom also, like it kind of makes her happy. So I think that's definitely why she eats the fisheye in the first place. Obviously there's something about the texture, because there's the description. The description had me reeling, absolutely freaking reeling. So maybe she thinks it's going to change her luck. That's my theory on the spot, because I wasn't thinking that. I wasn't thinking that at all about the, like the awakening of eating the fish eye. But maybe she thinks by eating the eyes of these men that are actively harming her family, it'll change her fortune. I can't even handle the pop of a blueberry. I get it. I'm also a texture girly. I mean, sure, for sure. The description. I'm just glad I wasn't listening to this one. I just fully read this one. I don't know why, but I feel like listening to it would have made it worse. Like, oh boy. But yeah. Yeah. Okay, so since we kind of started, I can go to maybe the next slide. Since we kind of already started talking about like the different people too in this. No more sloshing sounds. Yeah. Ugh. So obviously relationships are an important part of the book. This was just a question from the reader guide. Would love to hear everybody's answers, like which relationship was most compelling. I think it I think the trifecta of Jiwon, Jihyun, and their mother was the most compelling relationship, at least for me. Because Jiwon is like both like in age and just in everything else, like in the center, like in between the two of them. And she's kind of she's like sandwiched in between them, and like I feel like she feels responsible for both of them. Love the eye bullet points. Yeah, I had to keep the eye thematically in there. But I definitely feel like her relationship with her mother was super strained. She's definitely acting like her caretaker, because her mother, like emotionally, is I would say a little unstable. Like I think she's gone through a lot too, so it's understandable. But she's a little emotionally unstable, and her daughters kind of need her, and she's not necessarily there for them. So Jiwon often takes care of her. Sometimes in the book, it seemed like she resented it a little bit. And then Jihyun is also Jiwon's also trying to take care of her, but I feel like she always thinks she's protecting her for more than she really is, because multiple times in the book, we see that Jihyun notices and understands more than Jiwon thinks that she does. Like she's younger than Jiwon, but not much. Like she's old enough to definitely understand a lot of what's happening. But in Jiwon's mind, she's like, by not like if I'm not talking about this with her, she doesn't understand, and I'm protecting her from it.
which is a little misguided because I don't necessarily think that's true. I'm a sucker for a sister story. They're so powerful to me. I find them fascinating as somebody who does not have a sister and who grew up with a brother. And it's like I see sister relationships and I'm like, it just feels so different. It is fascinating to me. So I also do love a sister story because I'm like, this is a relationship I don't understand. Like obviously some things would be the same, but yeah. I don't have siblings, so I always find exploring those relationships fascinating. Yeah, it is a very interesting like familial relationship. Because you're both family and friends a little bit. I guess, but it also can change depending on how close or far apart in age you are to each other. Like myself and my younger brother are quite close in age, so um, always felt more like we had like a friendship as well because we were closer in age. We were able to do things together. Like we both like music, so go to concerts. But yeah, very interesting relationship, siblings. Found Ji-won's relationship with all three women compelling. Each revealed a different aspect of the character for sure. But Amma's relationship was the most significant. Oh, for sure. Because she's really like, she's kind of the instigator and all, not really the instigator, but a little bit, only because Ji-won is left with her. So when Appa leaves, and she sees like the fallout happening with her mother, she has to help her deal with that while also dealing with that herself. And so I feel like a little bit she felt like that was unfair. I would feel like that's unfair a little bit. It's like you have your own, like you have to be able to have space to like process it yourself as well. Feel like if she would have told Jihyun the truth, she would have helped her and supported her for sure. For sure. I guess it was like I mean, I get it. I'm the older sibling, so I get her to an extent where you want to protect your younger sibling. So it's like I kind of get her actions and not telling her the truth. But I think you're 1,000% right. Like I think the story would have gone much differently. But then we have Alexis also to point out Ji-won's gay panic. Lots of gay panic. Like from the jump. Like she's like already like she notices like how pretty Alexis is. Absolutely. So like obviously that's somebody she meets at school. That's somewhere where she is away from her entire family. Like George is not there. Oma is not there. Jihyun is not there. So this is just Jiwon being herself with people her age. So I feel like she's obviously tries to seem like normal or whatever's like happening to her is not happening to her. And put together. And I noticed she tries to like lean on her a little bit, but doesn't really commit to it. Because I think that goes back to her relationship with her mother and her sister, where feels like she's taking care of them and taking care of both. So I don't think she really knows how to lean on somebody else, but that's what really she should do. And Alexis like tries to put that out there to be like, hey, are you good? Are you okay? Do you need to talk? But it doesn't really go that way. Okay, as promised, there is a slide for the men. The men. Let's talk about the men. Whoa. What the fuck? Okay. Cool, bye. What the fuck? As soon as I started talking about the men, too. I didn't read. It's fine. It's you're good, Maddie. You're good. All good. All good. What a freak. All right. Bye. So anyway, as we were talking about the men, the timing of that was hilarious, though. Yeah, genuinely right on cue. I couldn't have planned that better myself. That's so funny. All right, the men. The men. I know for sure we're gonna go in on George, and I never know, like Joffrey. I never really know. But Appa, Jiwon's father, he is truly the instigator in all of this, because it's him leaving that sets off Jiwon's mother, and that kind of obviously sets her to find somebody else and finding George, and then this whole thing happens. And he is so absent. I found that side to be so sad, because throughout the book, Jiwon keeps recalling these nice moments, especially in comparison to George, who's just a piece of shit. So I feel like anybody would look good next to George. You know what I mean? So she keeps thinking of these nice moments, like when her father was caring about her, worried about her, all these good things. But you realize throughout the book, what he calls her one time, calls her once, doesn't even come to check on her in the hospital at the end. The fuck? If I wasn't a lesbian before. It's wild how Appa seems the most understandable, even though he is still a piece of shit who abandons his entire family to make a new one. The bar is in hell. Yeah, he truly is. Out of the three, he's the least bad. And pretty much at this point, because the only thing really separating George and Jeffrey from Appa is that George and Jeffrey are racist. George and Jeffrey are racist, and that's really the only thing that puts Appa a little bit above. But he is still a piece of shit. Still an absolute piece of shit. This is whatever goes on in the behind the scenes of this book that led the marriage to dissolve. I mean, that's between him obviously and Jiwon's mother, but the fact that he clearly is just okay with not having a relationship with his daughters either. Can you read a good ways of the lesbians? I mean, in the words of Lady Gaga, I think you're born this way, babe. So I don't know that I can do that ethically. That's probably not a good look for me. But you could just make a choice not to date men for a while. I think that's the choice. You could still be attracted to them, but doesn't necessarily mean you have to date them, you know? Mine's in the showing. There. What the heck? Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Okay. I was clicking your comment multiple times and it was not showing up. It was weird. This is why I'm never dating again. God forbid anything Aaron. Don't blame you. Don't blame you. Aaron's a good one. You can keep that one. Appa is the worst to me because he's supposed to be their dad. Yeah. Yeah. And that's isn't that the messy thing that happens with divorce like that as well, right? That there's, if there's children involved, it's one thing if you don't necessarily want a relationship with your former spouse, but unfortunately you do have to kind of a little bit, because
You have your children. My opinions, dads usually suck. Yeah. So God does make mistakes. I didn't say that, but all the men in this story are terrible, and I loved all the women in this story. I do think that is meant to be the takeaway a little bit, for sure. Even if Oma is not the best at all times, I'd say she's just flawed, for sure, and a product of so much of the stuff that Jiwon is going through also. Doesn't necessarily make it right in some ways, but it's true. And of course we have George, who we talked about a little bit. I found it really interesting, like, and I almost kind of wanted to just like email or like DM, I don't know if that'd be weird, the author, and be like, was there something to having George and Jeffrey have such similar names? I found that interesting. I don't know if there's anything to that. The fact that they had such similar names and also felt like two sides to the same coin. Is a little interesting. I was like, it just seems like, obviously you like pick your characters' names, you know what I mean? So there's got to be something to that. Because all white guys are the same. No? Maybe that's it. That's kind of funny if that's true. I like that. Yes. Oh my God. Can we talk about like all of the, I don't even want to call them microaggressions. They're just aggressions that these two men, especially George and Jeffrey, commit against Jiwon, and then like Jihyun, of course, in George's case. But yeah, his refusal to use the girls' names had me seething. The fact that he gets them mixed up also in that kind of first meeting, like he calls them the wrong names. Isn't trying to pronounce them correctly, even though he comes in with his bold claim that he can speak Korean. So he calls them JH and JW. That's so disrespectful. Like, out of all the things he does, I'm like, that one was like just so fucking wild. I'm like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? That's like the most embarrassing thing to me, to like not be it. Like, if you're not saying somebody's name correct, like, I don't know. That just feels like so personal, and something that like, if I'm going to get anything right by somebody, it's going to be saying their name correctly. Like, and the fact that he can't even extend that, I think, very common and very simple courtesy. Like, if he actually gave a shit, he would try to say their names the way they're meant to be said. Even if like, you don't necessarily have the right accent or the right inflection. Like, the fact that if he would like put in the effort to try, that would also mean something. Yeah, full on aggressions. Yeah. Oops. But I love how she slowly drives him crazy with the watch and the license and the presentation. Jiwon puts on an absolute masterclass in gaslighting. Yes. Yeah, she really makes it. She really said, gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. And really just like used his own hubris, his own ego against him. His stupidity, the fact that he very clearly thinks so little of these women, and probably which would extend to their intellect also, that he can't like rub his last two brain cells together and figure out like it was probably somebody in the apartment I'm staying in, but this idiot. So disrespectful, and also a form of appropriation. Yeah. I just feel like the name thing was so important. And it's like, it just sets it up perfectly. The fact that he just, in their first meeting, is like, yeah, can't Say it. Not gonna try. I'm just gonna call you JW and JH. It's disgusting. Nick, Joe, and Kevin. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. We also have Jeffrey, also, who, I mean, it was very interesting because it's like they're him and George are like essentially kind of doing the same thing, um, just in very different ways. And obviously, George is a little more blatant about it. So Jiwon clocks it immediately. Obviously, also too, um, she's going into that interaction feeling some type of way, of course, given like the nature of what's going on. But with Jeffrey, it takes her a little bit. Like maybe there were some instances where he kind of weirded her out, but other than that, it was it until things start to escalate and especially when she starts to become closer with Alexis. But like, I don't know about you guys, which I'm sure you guys did. If you didn't, it's okay too. But like, I clocked Jeffrey a mile away. Like his first interaction, the first time we meet him, he's wearing a "Nevertheless She Persisted" shirt. Like, give me a fucking break. Like, Jesus Christ. But I think that relationship for Jiwon, it was more about like she wanted to make friends, obviously. So that probably blinded her a little bit. So it made her a little slower on the uptake. Joffrey was as transparent as a clean window, made me frustrated that yeah, I think she just wanted friends. So I think that's probably what made her a little slower on that. Just as a, I don't know, just a guess, but my own little theory. Yeah, the minute Jeffrey opened his mouth, yeah, I know. I was like, no. And then every time he shows up, he's in some sort of like performative, like feminist shirt. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, this motherfucker. I absolutely like lost it when he gifts her the chopsticks. That was like the wildest fucking thing. I'm like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? That was the minute where I was like, there's got to be a reason why George and Jeffrey, like, the names look so similar. Like, that was just as racist. That felt like that was definitely an aggression. Like here, you're Asian. Let me give you a set of pretty chopsticks. Like, the fuck? The fuck? It's giving I know nothing about her and I've made very little effort to know anything about her. So I'm going to gift her chopsticks because she's Asian. Like that's what I know about her. Like, oh my God. Yeah, not the chopsticks. I was like, you're fucking kidding me. I was like, the fucking chopsticks. You're going to give her chopsticks? And then, of course, the fact, like, obviously, we know that he's not going to read her reaction to that because I think that was like one of like the first instances where she starts to kind of like turn away from him because like when she receives those, she's in her head, she's kind of like, what the fuck? Like, come on, Vicky, so thoughtful. Jesus Christ. That's so crazy to me. That's so crazy. However, Compet also led me to befriending some questionable men in the past, so who am I to judge? Yeah. When we meet, I'll give you a jar of mayonnaise. Oh my God. Oh my God. Honestly, that's really like the white people equivalent of what Jeffrey did. That genuinely is. like so genuinely. Wild. That was the first time in the book where I was like, there's got to be a reason why they're named the same. I was like, ain't no way. Like, I knew he was a fake feminist from the start, but I was like, oh no, not the microaggression. Not the not the chopsticks. God damn. Desmond's book club. He is also very weird to Alexis from the jump, which to me also screamed racist because I'm like, why? I mean, sure, like jealousy, I guess, because like obviously Alexis, I am at is just super pretty. Not that we have a picture or anything, but we got her description. But George is like super weird to her also. Which was kind of crazy. And to me, just like it genuinely just kind of felt racist. And then it was just confirmed with him like giving Jiwon chopsticks. I was like, oh, okay, got it. Like, got it. Got it. But yeah. Jesus. Yeah, so we have a couple of different things. Like Alexis, we really only have how Jeffrey treats her, like immediately doesn't like her. Which is kind of weird because it's like I feel like her Alexis and Jiwon were kind of slower to be friends, so I don't really, other than him not liking her for very superficial reasons, I don't really understand. But to me, I don't know if like anybody else has any theories. To me, the difference in the way Jeffrey treats Alexis versus Jiwon is like one is like racism, whether just like internalized or blatant, and fetishization, which I think is the case with Jeffrey and Jiwon for sure. For sure. Also, the fact that I think he probably thinks she's naive and like thinks she's gonna be impressed with his the fact that he reads feminist literature or whatever, even though he obviously doesn't absorb whatever he's reading. But yeah. Yeah. I don't know if we have any thoughts on that. my brain shut off. I feel like I've talked so much, which I'm the only person talking. I don't know why I'm saying complaining about that. I'm not. But my brain just shut off. But yeah. And then there's like Jeffrey getting like crazy at the end as well, which was like the natural progression of all of that. Which is insane because after she's been ignoring him for a while, he like corners her aggressively, and gets her to like go with him to a secluded area, which I genuinely thought she was gonna get murdered. To say that he's in love with her sounds like this would make an interesting movie. It definitely would. I don't know if I'd be able to handle her eating like the eyeballs like visually. I don't know if I'd be able to handle that, but it would be interesting. It would absolutely be interesting. But I think where a lot of people, at least from what I could see, like in the book club, still haven't recovered from Death's comment. As long as it's vegan mayo, Des, which is like the even wider version of what you're suggesting, like, which is accurate, but like to take it one step wider. But this is the most I saw like division, I think, like in the book club and just other reviews, was the end of the book. Which I didn't make a slide specifically for the end of it, but how did we feel about the ending? Because I thought that like the ending got fucking insane. I thought Jiwon was cooked for a little bit, like when she goes to like drug George and then he starts attacking her. I'm like, oh shit, like there's no way she's gonna get away with this now. Like it's just too messy. Her backpack's missing with the knife and da 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 and all these things, this, that, and the other. And then the fact that Jeffrey had been following her this entire time, like the freakazoid he is. like, like, so he had been following her, swoops in and bashes George's head in, which like really like truly like it's like the one good thing he does because it completely takes the focus off of Jiwon, and I'm like, wow. Yeah, honestly, the ending, she ate it up. It was fucking insane. A lot of people, I did see a few people who didn't like the tumor twist. So I guess for anybody just hanging out and listening, basically what happens is Jiwon tries to drug George, and she's gonna kill him and like eat his eyeballs. So when she goes to try and like cut his eyeballs out, he wakes up, he starts strangling her. George, who had been following Jiwon this entire time, like throughout the entire book, with everything that she's done, has been following her. He comes in, bashes George with a rock. The police come. They're in the hospital, and Jeffrey was taken away for a little bit, obviously on, So cut to Jiwon waking up in the hospital. Jeffrey's been let go for the time being. George is alive and in the same hospital and recovering. Jiwon, they found because they thought she had a concussion, has a brain tumor. So this entire time she's had this brain tumor, which you kind of are led to believe for a second, okay, so maybe that was definitely like causing her migraines that she has throughout the book. I think definitely causing her very weird and vivid dreams. And I like personally, I feel like there's a case to be made, or I guess this is just my theory, that the tumor made her see everybody's eyes as blue eyes, because like she keeps encountering all these different men with blue eyes, and I'm just like, that just seems crazy that she's finding all of them. I think she's just seeing them that way. I don't necessarily think everybody's eyes are blue eyes, maybe except for sure George's. But that's who's haunting her, because she is reminded of George's eyes every time she sees somebody with blue eyes. So you're kind of led to believe for a second that maybe that's what was causing this entire time. So you think, okay, so she's not going to feel like the compulsion to like murder or to eat eyeballs after this. Wrong. Wrong. As soon as she learns George is alive and in the next fucking room in the hospital, she goes in, kills him, eats his eyes. And then she totally fucking sets Jeffrey up. God damn. The way I was standing up and like running around my room screaming, the way she sets this motherfucker up perfectly. And he really sets himself up because he followed her this entire time. So his phone, like his location, he's been to all of the murder sites because he was following Jiwon. Jiwon makes it look like he came in and murdered George. Screaming. I was like, oh my God, she's an evil genius. And I think the tumor was definitely holding her back a little bit. Agree. I think the tumor affected her perception, but her actions are her own. Yes. And I think that proves it, the fact that they removed the tumor. So I think her perception has changed, but
her actions are for sure her own. It was just like such a crazy twist where you're like, oh, okay, so maybe that's what was affecting her. So she'll be like normal now. Wrong. She's still going to murder George. Insane. I loved it. I was like, ooh, it was like a red herring and then another red herring. You know what I mean? It was like a fake out. For sure. I would have been so disappointed if it was actually just the tumor. Yeah. Yeah. So I do think the tumor did, I think it had purpose, personally. I think it did have purpose. You know, I think it was making her see blue eyes everywhere that she wasn't actually seeing. And it was, you know, and obviously causing the other things, but don't know if Juan's actions are justifiable, but I support that. Yeah, I think ultimately I gotta support my girl Jiwan. She like that is like she's the absolute definition of gaslight gatekeep girl boss. The fact that she just like fucking framed Jeffrey perfectly. It was beautiful to behold. Like I was like, oh, this book's a work of art. Yeah, murdering George and framing Jeffrey was brilliant. I was like, God damn. Yeah, that tumor was really holding her back. Like they removed it and like, oh, she's a murderous genius. Like, God damn, she played the system so perfectly. Where I was like, yes. I couldn't even be that grossed out when she was eating George's eyes. Because I was like, jaw was on the floor. But I did find the suggestion from the reading guide interesting, like Jiwon to be whether she's like a reliable narrator or not, because I didn't get that vibe, at least like compared to other books I've read or like we've read here where they are unreliable narrators. I didn't really at any point think that she's like any more unreliable than the sense that it's just like it's from her point of view, so that's subjective, which is what Des just said here. I think all narrators are subjective of observers are unreliable 1,000%. Yeah, I didn't really notice necessarily like inconsistencies. I'm curious if anybody else did, because the fact that they mention it suggests that maybe there was some, and maybe I just didn't notice them. So I don't know. Okay, I've been fan casting the movie. Let me know if you want me to drop the names. Go for it. Is this the one that had a plot point where she had a falling out with her friends from school? Yes. Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. So yeah. So she had like three friends from high school who, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I think were all second generation Korean Americans, like their parents had come from South Korea to here. I could be wrong. But yeah, so she is like in a friend group with them, and they were all supposed to go to Berkeley together, and Jiwon was the only one that didn't get in. And so that leads Jiwon to she lashes out by trying to break up the friend group. So she kind of stages some drama and things. Like she steals one of their possessions, hides it in another friend's house to make it seem like she took it, to try and break up the friend group because she's feeling insecure about the fact that the three of them are going to go to college together and she's the outlier. She was kind of unreliable in that situation too. Definitely an interesting setup. I think that I don't know. I'm definitely not a neurologist by any means, or a scientist at all, just in general. So I don't really know how a brain tumor might affect your behavior or anything like that. So I don't know how much. I don't know how much the brain tumor aspect, like once we know about that, is supposed to potentially have affected anything that G1 does or did. I have no clue. To me, it was kind of bad what she did, especially the like stealing of her one friend's possession, hiding it in another friend's house to make it seem like she stole it, and like telling blatant lies to get them to break up like the friend group. Um, it was bad for sure. Um, but to an extent, I kind of understood because she was a high schooler at that time. You know what I mean? In high school, everything feels like life or death. Everything. I'm not saying it was right. Um, but I kind of understood to an extent. To me, it just felt like a teenager thing to do. Like truly, like Ricky Gervais as George. Wait, that's funny. Jeffrey Noah Centennial. I don't recognize all the. Hold on, I'm gonna look up. Ooh, okay. Fun. Although I feel like Jiwan, the Lee Young A. I don't know how. I've never seen that. I've never seen that name before. I know she's Lady Vengeance. I think she might be a little old to play Jiwan though. I think just a little bit. Che You're casting everybody so old. It's kind of funny. Oh, I remember her from All of Us Are Dead. She was great in that. I'm looking up your cast. I don't know who Noah Centennial is. Yum. Chung. Ah. Girl, your G1 is older than Oma. That's so funny. They're like the same age. Noah Centennial. Oh, ew. Yeah, he would make a good Jeffrey. Sorry, that was mean. I shouldn't have. I think the first picture that I saw did this man a little dirty. Okay. But you're thinking like, okay. That's fine. It was just funny that I was like she's gorgeous for sure. I think she's a little old to play a freshman in college. I agree. I felt like it was a teenager thing to do. So did I. Just felt very teenager. Not that it was right, but yeah. Yeah, oh my god, the first picture that comes up for this Noah guy. Yeah, that was me, and I didn't mean to immediately go ew. Like, yeah. Storm Raid's a good casting for Alexis, for sure. For sure. Yeah, for sure. But that was a good casting, though. I like that. That's a fun little thing to do. Fun thing to do. Okay, so what did everybody rate? What did everybody rate? The eyes are the best part. Noah Centennial is a certified Jeffrey. Aw. Okay, so never mind. I take back my ew. The ew is reinstated.
I don't feel bad anymore. 5 out of. I also gave it a 5 out of 5. Honestly, I was like, hey, I had a great time reading this. I'm gonna recommend it to everybody. Absolutely loved it. I was glad I stuck to it and didn't DNF. I mean, like, be honest, like anything that we talked about, does it sound like you would like it? You can be honest if you're still like, no. 3.7 out of 5. Nice. 4.75 when I read it, but it would be a 5 now. Stingy with my ratings, just like with my movies. That's okay. I love, like, I think like the way everybody rates things says so much. It really does. Like, so like seeing something like that where it's like I gave something a 5 out of 5, you gave it a 3.7 out of 5. Immediately I'm like, I want to immediately know what Kate has rated a 5 out of 5. You know what I mean? So very high rereadability. I think for sure, especially once you know like the kind of twists and stuff at the end, and now you know everything that's going on, like, you know, Jeffrey's following her, you know about the brain tumor, then you're gonna like be thinking about those things throughout the book for sure. Can't remember what I gave it, but I gave it a high score. Nice. I'm actually not convinced, but I'll give it. Well, if you're not convinced, then that's fine. I was just curious. I was like, anything we said. 4.5. Nice. You don't have any 5s yet? Interesting. The Reformatory is closest with 4.75. Okay. The Reformatory would be 6 stars if possible. Yeah. 4.25. Oh, nice. Okay. So we were all like relatively high. Even a 3.75 is high. That's above average. On a reread, ratings might be higher for sure. I feel like there's like, for a lot of books, there's a lot more you can get out of it from a reread. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. So Kate needs very deep trauma for a high score. I would too. I think like if I met Tananarive Do, I think I might cry. Like, I've never felt that way about like a celebrity or anything like that, where it's like, and I cry at a lot of things. Like, I think I would cry if I met her. And then I'd probably freak her out, and then she'd have security like escort me away. But which is fine. She is awesome. I want to meet her so bad. Even if I get escorted away. Actually, no, I don't want that to happen. I don't want to weird her out. Okay, so I know it's kind of time, but I remember I pinned the link to the forum in the Creepy Book Club. You can drop your suggestions for Creepy Book Club for the rest of this year. If you have any suggestions now, right off the dome, go ahead and drop them in the chat, and I will save it. Definitely some fun ones have been suggested. Mindy's got a very nice list on here. The link didn't work for you. Oh no. I could just link to the book club. It's in forums. See if that just works. I'll just link to the book club. And it's in forums. There you go. Maybe that. If it still doesn't work, Civic, I can drop it in the Discord. Totally cool to do that. Mindy, you've got some ones on here that are on my TBR, so that sometimes influences me to pick them. Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang. I'll have to learn how to pronounce that one because I definitely want to read that one. Hunger Stone by Kat Dunn. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. That's probably you doing. No, it could be the link. I'll drop it in the Discord also when I'm done. No worries, no worries. I see that Tana suggested A House Unsettled, which I've never heard of this one. We still don't have the. No, we have to decide. Yeah, we still don't. Yeah, so I put the link in if you want to drop it in that little like forum. Any suggestions? Or I said if you have any like off the dome like right now where you're like for sure this should be considered, feel free to drop them in the chat here really quick and I'll screenshot it. For sure. And for everything, all the suggestions, I do look through all of them. I try to make sure. Can't find it in forums. What the heck? It's the one that says, what do you want to read in 2025? Bye, Marielle. Love you too. Oh no, maybe there's something wrong. It's okay for me. Maybe just found it. Gonna look at all the titles. Yeah, if you have any suggestions, Kate, definitely put them in there. Yeah, weird. I'll drop the link in the Discord also. Maybe it's the maybe that's part of the issue. Unsure. Directions unclear. Directions unclear. But yeah, take a look through it. Take a look through it. Or if you want to second any ones that are suggested, that's cool too. Like those ones, I definitely take into consideration too. If multiple people have mentioned it, then I'm like, okay. Okay. Obviously, I'll throw in like probably one or two of my own. Don't worry. Nobody has to worry. This December will not be making anybody read Katrina Ward. But that means I need something for December. Like the past 2 years. 3 years? No, 2 years. 3 years. How many Katrina Ward have I made everybody read? 3. Right. Yeah. Yeah, 3. Won't be happening again, but that just means I need suggestions. So give me suggestions so I have no opportunity. So you yeah, I say yeah. I'm not gonna make you guys read it for December. That would be so evil of me. And then my stupid ass would get up here and be like, I never said I wanted it for November. All of you would be able, I would invite you to come to my house and throw jars of mayonnaise at my door. Don't threaten me with a good time. No, I feel like I can't. I feel like I cannot. We have to have more of a cooling off period, I think. Maybe next year. Be like January 2026. Sundial. Haven't read any of hers yet. Kate. I know I try to get everybody to read all of her stuff, but so genuinely, so truly, really genuinely, The Last House on Needless Street, please. You don't worry about anything else. Just The Last House on Needless Street. It's the best one.
And I think overall best one for Creepy Book Club. I think that one had the best reaction for sure. Far and away had the best reactions out of all the Katrina Ward we read. Okay. Well, okay. I've kept you guys a little bit longer than normal, so I'll go ahead and end the stream. But please leave me some suggestions so we don't have to read Katrina Ward. Let that be your motivation. And then I will deliberate. I will choose. Like I said, if you want to second something, I'll look at that deeper too. And then I will reveal. I will reveal in the next week or so. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for a great discussion. Have a good night. Bye.